This summer, I finally unlocked a way to paint a whole new range of subject matter. And in this video, I'm sharing with you the 3 tips that helped me get there. What are we painting? Today, we're exploring how to interpret architecture in loose and expressive ways, capturing buildings which are filled with life, character, and energy, without tightening up or getting lost in the detail. I've headed outside to paint from life, capturing Stirling Castle, a site I've been lucky enough to grow up seeing so often, but until today, never captured in my art. For the longest time, I actually shied away from exploring buildings, man-made features in my landscape paintings, in any of my artwork, because I was really unsure how to handle this contrast between man-made structures and nature. What has really unlocked it for me recently has been understanding that I can draw the buildings just as loosely and expressively as I draw nature. Although the castle behind me is, of course, much more structured, much more uniform than the environment around it, that is not how I like to paint, that's not how I want to paint. And so instead, I needed to just embrace all of my marks, textures, loose line work, and celebrate that in the painting instead of trying to control it and shape it into something else. When I am looking to bring in man-made structures or buildings into my usual inspiration of nature and landscape, I have been absolutely loving starting out my paintings in this way. This is my first tip for you, which is to start with an underpainting layer, but not just any old underpainting layer. Instead of beginning with one wash of colour, which is the usual go-to for an underpainting, instead I have been mapping out areas of colour to indicate the composition, where things are roughly going to go in my painting. I've been specifically choosing very, very loud, saturated, bright colours for this first layer, because I know I'm going to be building up on top of this and knocking it right back to soften it. Right now, the landscape around me is in spring to summertime and is really, really alive with so many bright greens, yellows, blues. When it comes to the buildings, I have been leaning into super hot pinks, and those have been my choices because the buildings in this area and the castle, which I'll just be painting in a minute, is made with these gorgeous pinky, reddy, warm-toned stones. Because of this, I love to lean into the brightest version of that colour, starting out with my hot pink first layer. My next tip for this process has been to not bring the detail in too quickly. Instead, I've been really enjoying leaning into adding so many layers of colour, texture, and mark making. This is really what's been bringing my paintings, for what I feel anyway, to life, and has been helping me bring a lot more character and looseness to the architecture and the buildings which I've been painting. I think this has been working quite well for the types of buildings I've been looking to capture, which in themselves are very old, they're probably wonky in places, they are just filled with weathered character. While we're not looking to add any detail just yet, we can use these layers and layers of colour and colour blocking to bring extra focus to our painting. One way I've been loving to do this is to use the sky as an opportunity to bring a little bit of definition and shape to my buildings, which are standing out on the horizon line. By thinking about the negative space around the building and painting the sky in using this process of negative space, it's helped bring a tiny little bit of structure to both of my paintings that I'm working on. If you're trying to find ways to very gesturally and loosely capture the rough form of your buildings, I really recommend giving this negative space a go and thinking about how your sky interacts with your painting. If you're enjoying the ideas I'm sharing in this video, but you'd love a little extra support, tips and tricks and guidance, as well as a little bit of community while you paint, then I would love to invite you to our online workshop as part of the Outdoor Sketchbook Collective. Every month I run a new online workshop which runs twice in the month at different dates and times. I'll pop this one on the screen for you now. In August 2025, we are going to be diving deeper into the ideas touched upon in this video through our online workshop Urban Nature Adventures. In the workshops, we're exploring how we can capture nature in man-made environments in expressive, loose and gestural ways. So if you'd like to explore this in your own work and take inspiration from urban environments around you, make sure to come along, ask any questions, and let's dive deeper into this process together. We run the same workshop twice every month to allow different time zones the opportunity to attend. And if you're watching this back at a future date and have missed the live calls, then you can always watch the workshop recording back and go at your own time and pace. If you'd like to find out more and become a part of the Outdoor Sketchbook Collective, I've left a little link in the video description down below. I've been working on these paintings, building layer upon layer upon layer of marks and textures. I've got it to a place where there's now an awful lot of richness going on in terms of texture, and it's time to bring in a little bit, just a tiny bit of definition to bring a sense of reference to my paintings. I'm going to be bringing a little bit more definition to my paintings in two ways. The first one is checking in with my values, whether I've got a good balance of lights and darks in my pieces. And the second is bringing in some loose and expressive line work. I'm going to start out by exploring the values in these paintings. Overall, I'm really pretty happy with this painting where it's at right now. I'll pop a photo of it on colour on screen and then in black and white. The area which I think it could be improved upon right now is to bring more of a value contrast between the castle, which is currently bright pink, and the sky, which is currently light blue. Both these elements right now have the same kind of values, the same kind of flat midtones. And for the sake of this painting, I'm going to use my artistic license to help make this castle stand out a little bit more. To do so, I'm going to darken the sky a little bit. Ironically, we have an incredibly bright blue sky here in Scotland today, but for the sake of artistic license, I'm going to darken my sky a little bit. I'm also perhaps going to bring in some highlights to my castle too, to heighten that contrast between the lights and the darks. final way that I bring a little bit more detail to these paintings are by bringing in some very loose line work. Because my approach to painting is much more centred on the loose expressive side of things and gathering the character, the feeling of the place, rather than literal representation, I'm not going to be capturing every single detail I can see either. I might pick out a couple of features I want to highlight, for instance some windows, chimneys, the arch of a roof. Whatever that detail may be, that might be where I bring in my line work. To bring in these final details, I'm going to be using my Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 alongside my Inktense block in Indigo. Both of these give lovely texture and lovely loose line work so that I don't get overly controlling in how I capture these final details. If you're looking to learn how to draw with more looseness, movement and energy, I'd love to direct you over to another YouTube video of mine. It's called Sketching Landscapes with Movement and Energy. And in that video I share 3 really quick and simple exercises and tips for you to try out to get to a place where you feel more relaxed with your line work. I've left that video linked in the description to this one down below. If you're also a loose and expressive painter and you're looking to bring in little representational nods to your landscapes, such as buildings like in this video, then I'd really encourage you to just embrace all of your usual mark making, all your usual visual language, the way that you would paint a tree or a river or something abstract. How can you use that same process in these more structured elements? If you're here watching at the end of this video, a huge thank you for being here. Watching a video all the way through is one of the best ways to support my YouTube channel. If you'd like to give an extra boost, feel free to give this video a like, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified when more videos like this come out. Thank you so much again for watching, and as always, I will see you outside.